Lenny.
All right, thank you, Heather. Hello, everyone. My name is Lenny Blue. I am Community Engagement Specialist for CWS. And thank you all for joining us today for our webinar, Go Team Go. I'm going to share my screen here. Heather, do you see my
It's perfect.
presentation? Okay, yeah. Perfect. So today we're going to talk about energizing your team captains and your registered walkers through a basic email campaign, or what we like to call a communications plan. So this regular communication with your team captains and walkers can help them feel more committed to the walk and become stronger fundraisers. These are just email that you can share with your team captains and walkers to energize them, to give them tips, share stories with them, and so forth. As we go through this today, I'm not going to read every individual letter because basically we've created some templates of email that you can send to your team captains with these tips and information to your walkers, registered walkers, with information as well. But basically today I want to kind of give you the broad approach of how to do this, how to set it up, and little snippets of what it's going to share with them. We can share the slides. I'm happy to share our templates and everything with you all afterwards as well. So for team captains, we created 5 weekly email templates to help coach your team captains. Basically, the first one is once they register and you know that they're on board for that year's walk, it's a thank you for registering and sharing with them resources on our Crop Hunger Walk page. The next one, these are kind of set up to share with them in 5 consecutive weeks. A lot of times people will use those for the 5 weeks prior to your walk date. This next one would be an impact snippet, so a little bit of a story and a fundraising tip. And then the next week would be using resources and to tell a story. The following week would be make fundraising fun, some way that they can become involved with their teams and create a fun activity to boost fundraising. And then the last one would be like after the walk, a thank you to them for participating, sharing an impact of what your funds for your specific walk, how much you raised, and how much it's going to help make an impact with CWS programs. So as we start into the first one, as you can see on the right, it's the template of the letter. It's basically an example showing you how to train them on registering for your specific walk, how to share with their walkers how to register as well. There's guides to the resources and all of the team captains information from our website as well. The following week, you would send them an email that says, I like using a basic subject line that says, did you know? And ask them a question. Did you know that our programs teach beekeeping in certain parts of the world? And then share a snippet of the impact, the story that you're inspired by to help inspire them as well. And then a fundraising tip. If you read into this one, it talks about Facebook fundraisers. And there's a link to our information and tutorials about how to connect their donation page to a Facebook fundraiser. Follow-up week. Again, a lot of these are about telling a story, but also providing information to them. Using our resources. This one, help them or inspire them to come up with their own little story of what a donation. For example, in the middle of this one here, I used in the bold a basic example of what for every $60 that I raise, you can create provide another beehive for honey production and income generation for another family. And then basically encourage them to share that story or their story on their social media or to the people they're emailing or talking to for donations. The next example is to make fundraising fun. Challenge the team to achieve a goal and reward them with something fun. For instance, in this email, the gentleman dressed up like Cat in the Hat challenge his team. If you met all of our goal, then I'll dress up and I'll walk in a costume. So a dress up, I've heard stories of churches or walks having a dunk tank where maybe the youth leader was going to be in the dunk tank and everybody that raised a certain amount of money got to pitch balls to try to dunk him. Or someone volunteer to shave their head or dye their hair for walk day. Something fun, exciting to get people excited to raise more money. And then lastly is the thank you for walking. Share the success of your walk in depth and how that makes an impact through CWS programs. And again, remind them to thank their donors and everyone that's involved and participated. Then we also kind of followed up with same type of plan to send emails to registered walkers. So like 3 or 4 weeks, these can also be shared with team captains to share with their walkers. Again, it's going to share stories and coaching tips for raising more funds for their walk. The first one is self-sponsorship. A big tip, and I'm sure you've all heard this, that is once you register for the walk, sponsor yourself, donate something to the page, even $5, $10, $15. It just shows people that you're committed, that you're invested into this movement, and then provide a link to the tutorials of how to get self-sponsorship, how to get more people involved as well. Next one is fundraising through social media. This email walks through our tutorials about Facebook fundraising, how to use Facebook Live, maybe even on walk day, do a short presentation while they're walking. Share these tutorials and these links with your registered walkers as well. The next one's on matching gifts. This is something I researched for this email, and we would all be surprised how much money is left on the table. So many companies that many of our walkers work for offer matching gifts, sometimes even double or triple what they give. Statistically, it shows that $26 million a year is left out there. I'm sorry, 4 to 7 billion goes unclaimed each year. So sharing the link to matching gifts. Our link on our website has companies that participate in the matching gifts programs, and sharing that, just bringing up into people's minds so they think about, oh yeah, I should ask my employer, even if they're not part of the national program. A lot of times a small business owner might even say, you know what, that's a great cause and I'm willing to match whatever you donate, or all of our employees or a team. Just a great idea to think about. And then the last one talks about donating through investments. We have a really nice page on CWS website about planned giving. Just make your walkers aware. As people hit retirement age at 70 and a half years old, they're required to make certain amounts of donations from their investments they have, from their retirement fund, or use the money. But by donating it, it saves tax money, saves them paying different taxes, and it also provides a income tax break at the end of the year. Sorry, I'm stumbling through this, trying to get ahead of myself. But it also talks about estate planning and writing a will. So sharing these things are a wonderful way to just make people aware and provide options for people. What I've shown here and what my team does with our work is build a communication plan. You can set up a spreadsheet uh, basically on for your walk date, and then plan out each of these email. I do mine automatically um, through through Excel. So I just set the dates, and then I can go through my list, and on these dates, it will send out the specific emails that I want to send to my volunteers. Thank you. That's my presentation for today. Please, if you have questions, I think we're going to take all of them at the end. So just hang on and we'll get to that. Heather? Or I'm sorry, Belinda.
It's going to be me. I'm going to start a video.
All right.
You can click out of your webcam, Lenny. Lenny, can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Thank you all so much for joining us on this crop chat. My name is Belinda Dye. I am a CWS staffer, and I'm a community engagement specialist serving walks in Eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and Maryland. And then today we have Chris. Chris, if you wanted to go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, my name is Chris Devine, and I live in Janesville, Wisconsin, and I am part of the Cargill United Methodist Church Crop Walk.
Awesome. And how long have you been serving with this crop walk?
Yeah, so this is just my second year. I've served at my church. I've been at Cargill for like over 20 years, and have been a part of the crop walk, and have been, done the walk and raised money and that sort of thing. But I've never been in charge. And a lady approached me and asked me to be in charge. She is, moving on with other things in her life, and I actually thought, yeah, I would be willing to help. So this is only my second year, but year one went pretty good.
Yeah, awesome. Glad to hear that. That's great. So, like I was saying, we are going to be speaking about communicating with team captains and kind of how that gets done. And you have some amazing ideas, and I'm so excited for what people have to hear. So, I guess my first question is, how do you communicate with these team captains?
Yeah, that's a good question. So, a little background about me.
Yeah.
I'm a retired teacher, so I always go about things as the teacher mode, like
Yeah.
I have the ideas and I want to gather ideas from other people and that sort of thing. So I really kind of think about this idea as a team effort. I think
Awesome.
that's really important.
Great.
Certainly not doing this alone, lots of people
Mhm.
around. So I ended up becoming involved in Janesville with the Crop Walk group, and the people who like get things together, get the breakfast together, get all the information together in order to give it out to the team captains. I was asked to be on that team this year. And when we were meeting and chatting in the, December, January, and February, and had conversations, I was thinking, I feel like I want to be like this team captain coordinator. I want to make sure that the other team captains in these other churches that aren't a part of the meeting that I am, get involved and know exactly what's going on.
Important.
So what I did was I got from our crop coordinator, Kathy Holcomb. She sent me an email with all the team captain names on it, what church that they are from, and that sort of thing. So I did a mass email in my computer and just introduced myself, and like, I'm not in charge, but I'm just letting you know that I'm like this coordinator.
Mhm.
And if you have questions or comments, to email me. So kind of like banding together as a group. So I didn't want anybody to feel alone or out there. And I know that in some churches that there's like new people as well. There's new team captains who may have questions and not sure what to do. And I didn't want them to feel like they didn't know what to do. So I want them to have like a resource, me, taken on, to email me or to call me to ask me questions. And yeah, so I thought that was important. And then we I keep them informed. So I told them when the team breakfast is. And then after each meeting that we had, I like emailed them out, like, this is what we talked about, just to keep them informed on what's going on and keep them like tuned in to like, oh, this is
Yeah.
coming up, and I can't just set it to the side. I have to like always keep it in that background.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, that's great. I love how you do your part in informing people, these team captains, what's going on, and then after like a follow-up, right? Like, oh, this is what you may have missed and things like that. I think it's super important, especially in this age where people want to know what's going on, right? And have the ability to do that. You just quickly send them an email and it sounds like you're pretty consistent with the communication as well. I think that's awesome.
Oh,
How do
thank
you,
you.
is that because of your prior profession as a teacher and just knowing how to communicate and knowing what's best? Is that how that kind of came along?
Yeah, I think with technology, I mean, it's the fastest way,
Yeah.
more
Yeah.
than even just texting people. It just email is just the fastest way. And then it's not hindering people. They can answer the questions when they want or get back to me when they need to. It's low pressure. It's not me calling and saying, hey, did you get that? You know what I mean? It's an
Yeah.
easier form of a communication in my
Yeah.
head. So,
No, that makes sense. I would
mhm.
have to agree. I think I'm better through email as well than calling. That's awesome. So you spoke a little bit about that teamwork part, and how you're not supposed to do it alone and you find it better than when you're not. Could you speak a little bit more to that?
Yeah, I think the biggest piece of team effort was that we did our team captain breakfast on Saturday, March 2nd, this last Saturday in our area.
Mhm.
And our crop coordinator spoke first,
Yeah.
and then we had Nick Gleha from CWS
Yeah.
spoke, and he did a lot of impact stories and how it worked, and then he talked about how to get on the crop walk website and how to log in and that sort of thing, and was willing to help people at the end. So
Yeah.
he had opportunity to talk. Our treasurer spoke as well, the tips and tricks on how to do the envelopes and how to do the
Mm.
folders and how to collect the money and that sort of thing. I think is really valid and important. We also had an Echo representative speak. Our local Echo, 25% goes back to our Echo from crop.
Yep.
And so because of that, she spoke and how it helps Janesville area and
Yeah.
where the money goes to and that sort of thing. And then I spoke,
Yeah.
and I treated it as, well, I'm a teacher and I'm going to speak first, and then I'm going to ask you guys for your ideas.
Mm.
So I talked about my mission moments and what I do in my church. And then I opened it up, passed the microphone around and said, what do you guys do?
Yeah.
Let's share ideas and stories. And so people had the opportunity to share ideas, and it was a good thing because I felt that they felt included and felt like their voice could be heard.
Yeah. I think that's a great way to do it, sharing what you do and then finding out what everybody else does and kind of just gathering all those ideas and then probably picking through what are the best practices. Maybe this is what we could do moving forward. I really love the fact that you also do moments for missions at your church. Can you speak a little bit to that? Maybe we could encourage people to also be doing that in their churches.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great thing. I spoke last year 2 or 3 times. This year we're having a speaker, and then myself and someone else is going to be speaking as well. So again, with the team effort.
Yeah.
But so with the theme this year is Take Your Kid to Walk Day. That's our theme
Mm.
in our area, and Be the Change.
Yep.
So I know the Be theme is a big thing, and we're combining those together. So last year was Be the Change, and I actually went on Amazon and I bought a bee costume.
Oh
So
my gosh, are you serious?
I I wore it was bee costume with the little antenna on the wings, and I walked up on in front of my whole congregation, completely embarrassed, and people just like was like beast of honey. They loved it. They really thought it was
Yeah.
really cool. They giggled and laughed, but
Yeah.
they listened. And
Yeah.
so I had this bee costume on. Every time they saw me in church, they always talked about my bee costume, and I ended up wearing it 2 or 3 times, which was great.
Yeah.
And then at the end of church, I'd stand in the back and talk with people about crop walk and
Mhm.
give out envelopes and that sort of thing. So that was kind of fun. And my pastor just, I don't know, he just thought it was hysterical. So I recommend like making it fun and, whatever
Yeah.
your theme is to make it, add to it and figure out how to I mean, it's not a laughing matter. The money goes for great cause, but anyway, so I just say have fun with it.
Yeah.
The other cool thing that I did was I asked my congregation if I could do this. Every congregation has envelopes where you can give money, to your, and everyone has like an envelope number if you're a parishioner.
Oh.
So I created like my own Craft Hunger Walk envelope and then put the envelope number at. So what I did was I made a bulletin board and decorated it in beads. And I made a whole bunch of these envelopes and I just stapled them on. So when people came up to me and talked to me about Crop Walk, what is this? They take an envelope, again, not evasive, right? Write your information on it, put money in it or a check, put it into the whatever place that you put it in at your church.
Yeah.
And then the money gets, it gets documented under your name with your information, and it's your way of giving money. So you're not just coming up to me, handing me $5. So that was my idea, and I'm going to do that again this year.
Yeah.
And my church okayed it and said, yeah, that's a good idea, because then everybody, they get, their tax dollars, whatever they get to do with their money, and Crop Walk with their money, and it's all good. So those are some of the ideas that I had.
That's a great idea, actually, because like you said, this is a great way for you to donate without people walking up to you, giving you just cash and like, here, this is it. And then you have to remember their name and documenting it and all those things. Oh, that's a great idea. And I'm definitely taking that to some of my walks. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Oh my gosh, this has been great. Thank you so much for sharing how you communicate with these team captains, the amazing ideas that you have, and hopefully, well, not hopefully, I know people are going to take a lot from this and hopefully bring these ideas back to their team captains and their committees. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for your time.
You are very welcome. I'm glad I could help, and I hope I help a lot of others with ideas, and there's just a lot out there.
Yeah.
And the CWS website has a ton more of ideas and stories and lots of things to look forward to, look at. So thank you for having me. This is great. I'm glad I could help.
Yes, me too. All right, bye.
Thank you.
If we could get Lenny and Belinda to pop on, we can do questions.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Type in any questions you guys might have. I do have one, maybe Belinda, you would know this. What is the echo that she referenced?
The echo?
Yeah. What is echo?
Was that her local agency?
Oh, yes. Apologies. Yes, that is her local agency.
Do we know what that is? Like what echo?
I am not 100% what it stands for, but I can definitely check in on that with Chris and let you all know.
And then we have a number of people asking for your PowerPoint, Lenny. I cannot get that PowerPoint into what will come out with the link from marketing. So I will put a call out to all of the staff to stick it in as an attachment in an email out to all of you. So, and then where can, Lenny, you kept making references to the list needed for the communication plan. Could you please let everybody know how they can get the list of walkers, team captains, maybe even last year's team captains?
Yes. So just ask your community engagement specialist that works with your walk, and we can provide that for you. Each of us knows how to do that now, and that's something that we can easily do and as a benefit to you.
Yep.
We do have an answer. ECHO stands for Ecumenical Community Helping Others.
Nice. That's awesome.
And we just keep getting asked for your PowerPoint, Lenny.
Okay.
Really good. I was telling Lenny myself, I was like, oh, I'm sending this out to all my team captains.
You know, it is an initial bit of work to set up your spreadsheet. But once you have that spreadsheet, it's just a little bit of updating every year.
Exactly.
Most walk dates don't change, you know, so
Or by
if it-
1 or 2 days, depending
yeah,
on
I mean, if you
leap year or
do it
not.
on the first weekend in October, you're always
Mhm.
going to do it on that first weekend. You're just going to change one date, and then everything backs up by one date.
Mhm.
And then we can always get your lists for you. And then I would just say it's a really good idea to, what we're hearing a lot is people aren't getting all the details about what's going on walk day. So if you could put one communication out to your team captains that says everything that's happening for walk day, and then make sure that they announce that at their churches and make sure they let the walkers from their churches know. And then also make sure you update your online donation page with as much detail as you can give them. That is just another form of communication. Just think, if somebody looks up the Van Buren Pawpaw Crop Hunger Walk, and then they go to that page and it doesn't say anything about what's happening with that walk, well, they can't join it because they don't know.
Yeah.
But we do have some more questions, so let me get back to the questions. Oh, yes, this is just a point. Some of the email templates might also work as social media posts to energize team captains and walkers.
It's a great idea.
Do we have social media templates of the emails? That's a good question, but if we don't, we know somebody who can make them for us.
Exactly. I was like,
So if we don't, we'll get some made. Lenny mentioned sending out automatic emails through Excel. Is there a link for more information on how to do that? Is that through mail merge?
It's through mail merge. And what I would recommend, and this is how I learned, you Google sending mail merge. There are a lot of really good tutorials, video tutorials to walk you through that.
Exactly.
Once you get the hang of it, it's very easy to do.
You can also do it on Word as well. Just wanted to put that out there too.
Oh, yeah, you can do it on
I'm
Word.
sorry, yes, it is Word that I do it in. Then you merge your spreadsheet from Excel to Word. You're right,
Yeah.
Linda. See, I wouldn't do a good tutorial. So,
I learned on YouTube, so it's okay. YouTube University.
yep.
Yeah, Google it and it goes, they will have a much better video than what we can do right now.
Yeah.
Let's see. A sample spreadsheet might be helpful to share with walkers. That's something that we can put out to staff. We do have a social media toolkit that you can find under the resources. When you go to crophungerwalk.org, there under resources is a social media toolkit, a walker toolkit, and a business toolkit.
And one of those links on the sample templates has the link to that as well, to the social media toolkit.
Oh, thanks, Lenny. I block your face with the questions, so I can't tell when you're done. I'm sorry.
Okay.
This webinar is being recorded, and what happens is that I will upload it to the resources, and it's a bit of a deep dive to find them, unfortunately. But if you go to the resources tab, go down to the box, I can't remember what it's labeled now. Let me find it for you, because you go to resources tab and then you go down to walk planning portal, and inside there are all the webinars from going back a couple years, to be honest. And then let's see, we will include the link to the social media toolkit in the email that's going to go out from marketing. Somebody really likes the thermometer poster. So if you don't know what that is, we do have a thermometer poster, and it works really good in the church or in the kids programs. And then, you can just, as you're going up the thermometer, you know how much you're raising, and it's just a bit of a challenge tool.
Yeah.
I will put the webinar link in the email going out so you guys find it easier. And then that would be it. As far as, there is one question from a treasurer. It says send the list to the treasurer, but the treasurer can always get the donations that have been made online by going to an email of webwalk@crophungerwalk.org. Anytime you want it, you can ask for it as many times as you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
Any more questions? Oh, let's see. Oh, this person just simply is saying that it is, they strongly suggest, and you know, I kind of agree too, that as nice as it is to do the blast out, it's also nice to create unique messages for people. So maybe what you need to do is, if you're a walker and you're doing this with your asks, make sure they're unique with your asks.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're emailing to team captains, it could be a blast out, because it's going to be information.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think with that, I will let Lenny and Linda say goodbye.
Yes.
Thank you all for joining us today. I hope you got something valuable from this.
Yes.
And then just look for the email of the recording, and I will stick some links in there. And I will also ask staff to send out the PowerPoint and maybe some additional links in there too that will help you out. So, but remember, if you have any questions, always reach out to the staff person assigned to the crop walk that you walk for or plan for. And with that, I will say thank you, and everybody have a great day.
Bye, y'all. Thank y'all for joining.
Bye.